Hi there, I'm Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and here is today's bite-sized Bible from 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1, and we're going to be continuing our look at Paul's first letter to his son in the faith, Timothy. And this is what he says in that letter, in the first verse of chapter 3. Here is a trustworthy saying, if anyone sets his heart on being an overseer, he desires a noble task. So I'm talking to you today a little bit about leadership desire. Now, Paul says this is another trustworthy saying. He's got several of these trustworthy sayings in his letters. You know, when an apostle is teaching something, it is trustworthy because they're following the model of Christ. So his words to us won't be driven by personal ambition or through selfishness. He'll be seeking to follow the model of Christ, which is as a servant. So let's listen to what he's saying to us today. And Paul says to Timothy, if anyone sets his heart on being an overseer, this carries the idea of like a craving or a deep desire to do something. You know, often when God calls you into a role or a responsibility in life, he'll just give you an insatiable desire to do it, so much so that doing something else just wouldn't satisfy. And he's talking here about a particular role. He said the word is translated overseer. It's the Greek word episkopos, and it literally means, or it's been translated bishop or overseer. But it's used in the New Testament interchangeably with another word, presbyteros, which carries the notion of a senior or an elder. So I'm going to use the word elder for this as a translation for this. So it's talking particularly about leadership in the local church, although I have to say these kind of things that Paul says to those who would aspire to be elders would be good aspirations for any of you who want to grow into a mature Christian. But he says if you desire this leadership in the local church or leadership in general, he says you're desiring a noble task, a noble task. So it's actually a good thing to aspire to leadership. Sometimes we can have a negative view, can't we? We can think people that aspire to leadership are somehow personally just driven or self-motivated. Actually, there's a nobility to this call to leadership in the New Testament church that follows through to us now in the church and in life. And, you know, in the world's view, when we consider leadership, we're often thinking about things like status or financial reward or even power. Yet leadership in the local church is a very different ball game altogether. When we're looking at the example that Paul's giving us of leaders in the local church, we're talking about servanthood primarily, because all leaders in the local church are following after the example of Christ in the same way that Paul himself was. So he is the one who ennobles it. So here's what I want to say to you today. If you've got a desire for leadership in life, and especially in the local church, that is a noble desire. It's good to have that desire, but it comes with some health warnings. Just check your motives first. And my encouragement to you is to listen to the rest in this series, because we're going to be speaking a lot more about what it means to be a leader. My name's Chris Kilby, a pastor in a pergola, and I look forward to seeing you next time.